And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, Tyler Carlson, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
What's been going on?
Well,
I bet you're just ecstatic, aren't you, with all the changes going on and regulations of government and
absolutely.
fuel?
Ecstatic. That might be a term, yes.
That might be. But congratulations insofar as the rate reduction, because last time you and I spoke, they wouldn't allow what was the PUC, or Corporation Commission?
That's right. It was the Arizona Corporation Commission. It was the staff itself that was opposing the rate reduction.
Right.
And we were able to prevail, and then that's with the help of all the people of the community, because the community did rise up.
Good.
And it does show you what we all can do when we all get together.
Yeah.
And the community rose up and made sure that they made their voices heard to the Arizona Corporation Commission, and they did approve the rate decrease. We had went in for a 2.9% rate increase for our power supplier, Arizona Electric Power Cooperative. They approved a 2.5% rate decrease, so it wasn't quite what we looked for, but it still was better than nothing. Yeah, we have something. We have a note about that. How do rates compare with NV Energy? We get this question often about that our rates are somewhat, for some reason, outrageously different than the rates across the river.
They're outrageously less, by the way.
Well, actually, they are. They are.
Would you bring that board back up again?
Yeah, if you bring that board back up, and we're trying to show that what our rates will be, because the day after the commission voted on the rate change, which only took a few minutes, by the way, the chairman of the ACC basically said, "This is a rate decrease, isn't it? So what are we here? Why do we need to discuss much?" And they voted 5-0. But your all voices were heard. And the next day, the board of MEC decided to pass on that rate change, or the energy difference. And that's what our rates will look like in 2014 in January. And that's the comparison against NV Energy. So I don't see the outrageous difference in either way, but certainly it is lower. We also have a slide that shows something just for the MEC member costs, and maybe you can pull that up.
Is that
here.
it?
Yeah, and what we tried to show you is what happens today, the energy costs today, the energy costs, what they'll be in 2014 in January, and show what that percent decrease is. So depending upon your usage, your decrease is right around 3%. If you use less,
right,
you're in a lower tier, and you get better advantage of it. So you actually see a higher rate decrease.
Well, for somebody stupid like me, what does an average home use? I see 750 kilowatt hours and then 1,500. Does a normal average, let's say 3-bedroom, 2-bath home this time of year use about 1,500?
Well, this time of year it probably uses less. We use a different number. We have a number of it's roughly about 850 kW.
Okay.
That's the average. That would be 12 months of usage in a home. 12 months of total usage divided by 12.
Okay.
And that would be the average. It's obviously higher during the summer.
Right.
And obviously lower during the winter.
Okay.
But at a time right now, you're probably a person normally could be in that less than 850, more towards the 500 kilowatt number. But really, it's your usage. You're the one that determines that. And remember, we talked about your refrigerator in your garage that you don't want to get rid of. And so that's a big energy user. But there are changes, and it's all really your usage. You know,
sure.
All your ceiling fans in your house, or all your lights, or what you set your temperature on. Most of your usage depends upon your lifestyle, the way you live. So, but yeah, we were very happy, and the board was very happy, and hopefully the members will be very happy when January comes along, and they'll see that little negative part of their bill that'll show up. That's somewhere between 2.5 to 3 point whatever you saw on there, 3.33%.
Yeah. In general, would you say, because of the economy, and I mean this is really a very nebulous question, but in regard to the economy kind of dumping like it has, and people, they're a little more conscientious about their power usage. Have you seen power bills consistently go down? Have you been able to track that at all?
We have been able to track that. Most of the differences in energy levels has to do with the temperature, and that's the reality.
That's just bottom line here.
That's just the bottom line. And the hotter it is outside, the more your air conditioner is going to work to keep it cool inside. So if you can raise that temperature a degree or two, that's great. But we have seen since about 2008 a slow change. People have actually started to use less, and that's a good thing. It might be the new lighting. It might be pushing up their temperatures up a little bit higher or down in the winter, whichever way you want to look at it. But we have seen some changes, and people are taking that into effect. But there are a lot of people who really don't realize that they're in control of their energy bill.
Right.
They, for some reason, believe it's based on the size of your house or based on the square footage of your house. It's not based upon what you can do to your house for sealing up leaks, drafts, your sealing around your doors, insulation, leaving all the lights on in the house. They don't really connect that for some particular reason, but that's really where you can make an impact. And every kilowatt hour that can be saved is the best kilowatt hour, because we didn't have to generate it or buy it or do anything with it. That's the best one, the one you can save.
That's it's sometimes difficult to take a look at it and say, okay, I need to shut this off. And we spoke of that last time, talking about, do your fans need to be on through the winter? And I've always heard that yes, to bring that temperature down off the ceiling and recirculate it. You're saying not so much.
Well, I'm saying that it is if you're in that room. Certainly doesn't help you out if you're not in that room. So
well, it helps the cats out.
Yeah, well, that's what you said last time too. You were worried about your cat. I think your cat will find the way to the warmer or the cooler part of the house by itself.
There is that possibility. I got to take a look at the weather here. If you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just show you a quick look at the weather, brought to you by the Hut. Hut, of course, located on Highway 95, just before you get to Big O Tires. Stop in, check it out today. It's Pullman Trout Car Wash. Here is the weather. I believe. Again, our look at weather brought to you by the Hut. Be sure and stop in today. Also, when you're thinking about try that potato salad, maybe even some of that delicious chili, I don't think you'll be disappointed. 928-542-4587. Morning show will continue with Tyler Carlson right after these messages. Stay with us, please.
Sunridge Village, dedicated to improving the quality of life. It's more than a place to live, it's a community, supporting dignified lifestyles in assisted living and memory care since 2003. Sunridge Village. Call today for more information.
Are you one of the millions of people living with bladder control problems and on Medicaid? Then stay tuned for a free offer from ActiveStyle.
Hello. At ActiveStyle, we understand your needs and offer convenient, discreet home delivery of a variety of incontinence products. And they may be available at no cost to you if you're Medicaid eligible. When you call us, a personal incontinence consultant, someone like me, will help you find the right product that is both comfortable and makes you feel secure. If the fit is not right, we'll send different products until you are completely satisfied. That's our Get It Right guarantee. Your privacy is assured. Our incontinence products arrive direct to your door in discreet boxes, so no more embarrassing trips to the store. If you or someone you know is incontinent, call us now. And if you're Medicaid eligible, we'll send you a free sample.
If you're on Medicaid, call for your free sample. ActiveStyle is the most convenient and discreet way to get your incontinence supplies.
Call 800-918-4059.
Tri-State on patrol, Mondays at 6 p.m., Thursdays 8 a.m., Fridays 6:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m.
It's the ultimate ultimate sales event. Paul Everts RV Country in Laughlin is the #1 holiday Rambler dealer. And right now, they're slashing prices on their entire inventory. Even if you already own an RV, you'll want to check out the blowout prices on year-end closeouts and bank repos. Save thousands on new and used motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers. Everything is priced to sell, no reasonable offer refused. It's the ultimate sales event. For 52 years, nobody knows RVs like Paul Everts RV Country on Casino Drive in Laughlin.
TV2 KLBC. We are your hometown station.
This segment of the morning show is brought to you by The Upholstery Shop, 2180 Highway 95. We have the best products around to fix your car, your boat, your sofa, or even your plane. Bring it in by 7, it'll be out by 4. The Upholstery Shop, 2180 Highway 95.
And welcome back to the morning show. Tyler Carlson, CEO of MEC, Mohave Electric Cooperative. Deregulation, this has just got to be giving you guys headaches.
Well, it is, but last time we were on, we talked about deregulation. The members and the public, they all signed petitions. They all contacted the Arizona Corporation Commission, and the commission voted not to pursue it. So the commission voted 4-1 not to pursue it. Which was great news, because if you remember last time, deregulation hurt nothing but the elderly, the poor, residential, small business, small commercial, which sounds like everyone in the tri-state area.
Excuse me.
But it's not dead yet, because there's out-of-state interests, financial interests that still want access to. So they're still working with the ACC. But the message really is that when we all work together and we all work to a common cause, the utility, the people, we all work together, we sign those petitions, we were able to affect change. And I think that's the real message there, is the ability to affect change.
Were you surprised by the response that you got?
You know, I was and I wasn't. I think that people, if people have the information, and that's the hardest part, is getting people the information. If they have the information, understand what's going on, I think people do respond, and people do understand the bottom line, which is their electric bill, any bill. They understand what can happen to their bills, and they pay attention to it.
Well, so many times we've been affected by deregulation. I mean, there's been, you know, in our government, well, we've got to deregulate this or we've got to deregulate that, and it seems to wind up a horror story before it's all said and done in most instances.
In most instances it has, and the last time I was in, and when we actually described it to people and we've passed out information, the deregulation has been a real horror story for the regular residential users, the low income, the elderly, you know, the small commercial, small industrial people have gotten hurt very badly.
I don't think they can take much more either.
And I agree with that. And in a kind of following down that road of education, EPA has decided to try to regulate new construction of coal and natural gas, and they actually have new requirements, and those new requirements actually are requirements that they don't have equipment that actually can work to actually get what EPA wants. Meaning the reality is they're trying to shut down any new coal or any new natural gas. It's kind of it's a difficult issue. It's a difficult issue for all of us, because instead of this administration embracing the all of the above technology, which is let's embrace all sources of energy, because we don't want to get stuck with one or two or few sources of energy that we can be manipulated on. We've seen that with oil. We've seen that. We're seeing that with some of the equipment cost for solar. Is that some of that equipment or some of the special materials come from China? They come from other countries, and their prices are really high. So you actually get beholding to another supplier. So we really support the all of the above scenario for energy, and EPA is looking at possibly these new technologies, and they're unproven, they're untried. They really don't have an answer for the carbon capture and sequestration is what it's called. And there isn't anything that really works. They don't have one in production. So they're basically creating rules in which no equipment can work. No equipment exists. It's hypothetical equipment. That gives us a great deal of concern. They also are looking at changes to existing natural gas and coal-fired plants. And if you look at it this way, if we don't use our abundance of what we have from natural resources, we'll be beholding on somebody else's natural resources.
Sure.
And if you look at coal itself, if we don't burn it in a responsible and a clean manner, meeting all the requirements, in which we do, then that coal goes somewhere else. It goes to another country that doesn't have all of the clean requirements that we have, and so you actually get more pollution by shipping the coal out than you do by trying to do it responsibly here.
All anyone has to do is take a look at any city in China and see what pollution is.
I think you're hitting the nail right on the head. That's exactly, China and Japan certainly have a great deal of problems with emissions, and if we don't do it responsibly here, then it's going to be used somewhere else. And for some reason, that pollution just doesn't stop at the borders. The imaginary lines drawn on a map, they just don't stop.
Well, I think, you hit the nail on the head when you said responsibly, and unfortunately so many times, and I don't know where you are on this one, but when Mohave Generating Station really refused to comply with some of the necessary improvements to clean up this plant, it was very frustrating to a lot of people down here. I mean, I know it threw a lot of people out of jobs and everything else when it went away. And it probably cost us in the long run, but on the other side of the coin, it wasn't pollution free.
That's correct.
I don't know how else to put it. It was very maddening.
Well, there were a number of items with a number of issues with that, and it wasn't just the issues of putting in pollution control, because even when the owners decided to look at putting in pollution control, the fuel source was the problem. That fuel story and that fuel source. They didn't have a fuel source. So without a fuel source, it doesn't matter what you might put in to clean up if you don't have a response.
And I think in retrospect, I think they knew that was coming, and that's why the long stall on doing anything, because they knew at some point in time they were going to have to shut it down anyway. It really didn't make any difference.
I think you're exactly right. Now, we do have on our website, because we're going to be asking for folks to help again on this EPA issue for responsibility, and there's a call to action. I think on the quick links on the right hand side, somebody's brought that up. Let's see if I can see that. It's the second one from the bottom, I believe.
Right there. What's that say, Pete?
It says holiday safety.
No, then that's not it. Then I can't quite tell.
Go down one more. What's the one below it say?
Action Co-op.
There you go. That's the one. That's the Action Co-op. And if you click on that, so go to our website. You can click on that. You'll actually see. It'll tell you about it'll give you some background about the Cooperative Action Network. It'll tell you what the issues are, and then you can actually click on those links. And if you click on that link, you can actually tell the EPA what you think. And
wow.
I think, and we're looking for help. We're going to have flyers out. It's an excellent job, by the way. Thank you very much. We're going to have flyers out wherever we go. We had flyers out at our town hall meeting. We're going to have flyers wherever we can, so you can actually fill those out if you want. But if you can go online, tell EPA what you think, which is, we need all of the above technology. They don't have technology to replace coal and natural gas.
Right.
We need all of that. We need to do it responsibly. We need to embrace the regulation to keep things clean, but we don't need to embrace regulation that keep things clean that technology does not yet exist.
Right.
That just seems to be over the top and overkill, and it seems like what they're actually doing is trying to get you out of the business.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, you're right. I can't say any more than that. I mean, that's absolutely true. It does.
I think the technology that they're talking about could increase the cost of electricity by, I think the Congressional Budget Office has indicated by up to 75%, the increase of our electric bills. I don't think any of us can afford that. So we need to do responsible things, and that's what the Take Action Network's trying to talk about, which is let's do this, but let's do this responsibly.
Now that was at mohaveelectric.com?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's www.mohaveelectric.com. That's our webpage.
Okay.
And as you saw on the quick links in the lower right-hand corner of those quick links, the Action Network, and you can get yourself in there. And please do what you did with same thing we did with deregulation and the rate increase. We all rose up. We told them what we thought, and we can make an impact.
Which is amazing because most people don't get that opportunity. I mean, we don't have that many cooperatives out here. Certainly, Nevada doesn't have one.
That's correct.
You know, I can gripe all I want, but I got to go to Vegas to do it. So, in so far, and whatever I say doesn't count anyway there. But you folks in Mohave Valley, Bullhead City, and whatnot are very fortunate in so far as you're all partners in this, and everybody has a say.
Yeah, we do have a say, and I think folks believe sometimes when they vote at the ballot box that they believe that their voice isn't heard. But we can tell you that all of the voices were heard on deregulation, and your voices were heard on the rate decrease, and your voices will be heard on the EPA issue.
Well, let's say you get by all this stuff. You expect it to stay somewhat stable over the next couple of years?
We certainly hope so. That's the idea.
Yeah.
We would like to see some stability.
I mean, if in fact that does, then everybody should be just fine.
We should be stable for a while, yes.
Wow. I'll tell you what, you've got a heck of a job out there that I'm sure it takes your full staff trying to keep you abreast of everything that's going on.
It certainly does.
Yeah, yeah. So anything else exciting? I got about a minute left. Anything you want to talk about?
I really don't have a whole lot to talk about except thank the folks who actually did participate in the deregulation, contacting their people and contacting the commission on the rate issue. We thank you. Please jump back in, help us here.
And that pretty much sums it all up, ladies and gentlemen. MohaveElectric.com. You can be a part of it. I mean, if you're over here in Laughlin with NV Energy, forget about it. But if you're over there in Bullhead City and again, any place where MEC is, you guys, you've been able to make a difference to this point. I don't know why you wouldn't continue to make that difference. I want to thank you very much, Tyler, for being here.
Thank you
very
much.
Always good seeing you. Pete, thank you. Nice job.
Thank you. No problem.
And Keith, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good seeing you out from your editor here once in a while. And to each one of you, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Don't forget, we got our football picks tomorrow. Got all kinds of things going on. So we hope you do join us. Until that time, have a great day. Bye-bye.